everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Modern Witch Podcast. Today we are unpacking my journey working psychic and holistic fairs. I am going to tell you guys really just the tea, what I've learned, what's gone good, what's been a fail, all of the things I am just going to break down for you guys on this episode. I really wanted to have pieces of my content that are specifically for people who are wanting to go into creating spiritual businesses or maybe just businesses in general, and share the good, the bad, the ugly, the hard, all the things, because there are a lot of things about being a sole business owner that I had no idea about, and that I've been slowly learning. Oh, this is something that I have to figure out. Oh, this is something that I have to do. Oh, my Square reader won't work. How am I going to take credit card payments today? Just weird things that I never knew I would have to really be worried about. So I'm going to share with you guys a breakdown of psychic fairs. I'm going to share a breakdown of what I did beforehand, how the actual fair went, and then lessons. So that's kind of how the episode's going to go. So in order to prepare for the fair, where I started is I have found a pretty reputable site. I'll actually link it in the show notes if it's something you're interested in. But I found a pretty reputable site that shares psychic and holistic fairs, what sort of people they're looking for. So are they looking for readers, healers? Is it, just in line with the audience that I'm looking to attract or the clientele that I'm looking to interact with? And so I'm going on this site and I'm looking at trying to figure out, okay, here's all the fairs. What is the clientele or the niche that I'm looking for? Then from there, I can see dates. You can see where it is. You can see how many years that fair has been in business, which I think is super helpful. You can see expected or average turnout. You can see how much it costs to be a vendor, all the things basically in just this one really pretty spreadsheet link. I'll link it in the show notes. So that's what I've been doing to find reputable fairs. Is I've been going in, finding reputable fairs that work for me. Personally, I live in North Carolina, so I've been going to a lot on the East Coast. And within that, I have been, going in and just reaching out to the different vendors or the different companies. And so essentially once I find a fair I want to work, I just reach out to the companies. I have a little pitch email that I send that's basically hi, my name's Madison, and I am an Akashic Records reader, a medium, and a tarot reader. I saw your upcoming fair. I would love to join and be a vendor offering, these services. Let me know if you have any questions or if that fits with the audience that, you guys interact with. Sometimes they just have an email address that you just pitch and reach out to. Sometimes they have a vendor application form where you'll submit your application and then they'll email you back, later on to let you know if you got approved as a vendor. And that is basically how the back end process works to get to be a vendor at one of these shows. So that's basically what I've been doing is, kind of going through. There have been some people that I've talked to that I've realized, I don't know that it's worth my time to go to this show. For example, I was talking to one person about a show that I was debating working, and the person basically was like, yeah, I expect that if you work the show that you do a lot of self-promotion as well. I do some promotion, but I expect people that are coming and that are working the fairs to bring in a lot of their own clientele and do a lot of their own advertising. And personally, that isn't something that aligns with me as far as fairs go right now, just because the concept of me going to fairs is being able to meet and attract clientele that I'm not already connected with, and to be able to, connect with different people without necessarily having to do all of the back-end advertising and all of that myself. So that was just something where I was like, I don't really think that's aligned for me. I would kind of just rather be able to show up, connect with new people, and, I kind of see it from a business standpoint as all of these fairs you pay a vendor fee. So I see it as my vendor fee goes to cover you advertising the event, my space, and then anything that I get while I'm there. Maybe they have tables and chairs for you to use. The fair that I went to this past weekend, they had tables and chairs with covers, all of that. So for me, that's kind of what is aligned with my business strategy is that I want to go to fairs where that money is covering the advertising, my space, the setup, whatever that looks like. And so I just kind of was like, hey, thanks for the opportunity. I don't think it's going to be a fit at this time, but, wish you all the best in your fair, and just kind of left it at that. And so that's kind of what I've been doing, is just kind of going through, feeling out with different contacts. Is this a fit? And most importantly, I've been asking for like really clear guides and directions from my angels. So whenever I first started this, I kind of put up like a little container of protection, said a prayer to my angels. I was like, hey, guides, angels, God, all the things. Can you guys help me connect with the right fairs? One, can you make it clear if this is an area where I'm supposed to be working or not? And for me, that's always if things work out very quick and things just like happen, it's a sign that it's supposed to be. If I have to force and make and push and prod, it's not for me. And so that's generally how I know. So I asked them for that. And then I also asked, like, please connect me only with the fairs that are going to have the people there that like you guys want me to connect with or help, or that you guys have a message for me to give to somebody. I want to be very intentional about where I'm spending my time, where I'm spending my energy, who I'm connecting with, all of the things. So I'm setting up this kind of container energy. I'm kind of, chatting with people behind the scenes, looking into, statistics on some of these fairs, seeing are they reputable, how many people normally come, all the things, making sure just that it's a good business investment, because at the end of the day, it is a business investment as far as my time, money, and energy goes. So I really just am doing kind of everything I can to make sure where I spend that time, money, and energy, it's aligned with just my higher self, my higher purpose, and where I'm supposed to be. So this weekend, I went to a psychic holistic fair in Maryland, and it was in College Park, Maryland, right outside DC. It was actually at a college. Ooh, I'm so bad at this. I could not tell you guys what the college was. Maybe University of Maryland? That feels right. Okay, so at this point, whenever I get to a fair, I have started packing Tupperware totes filled with everything I need. So in this fair, there was already table, chair, and table cover. So what I brought my own signage. So I brought my sign, rope, packing tape, scissors, just as kind of like things to be able to put up that signage. I brought signage that had, like, I made a little pick a card station where people could pick tarot cards, and then I put my business card on the back, so people picked a card that they could be able to take that card home and then connect with me later if they wanted to. And then I had signage for how much my readings were and what readings I was offering. And then I also had a stack of thank you cards, because what I did is I pre-planned doing thank you cards, and I just wrote like handwritten thank you cards. Thank you so much for supporting my small business, with a tarot card and my business card in there to give people at the end of readings. Because after I connect with people in readings, I love to be able to like send like a thank you email or whatever. But in the fair setting, it's so hard to do that. So I just pre-made some of those thank you cards to just give out to people. That I think ended up being a really good idea. And then I also decided to sell tarot cards and do like a little tarot card station for people who wanted to have their own tarot deck. So I had ordered tarot cards. I had also put a little piece of tape and then put that same thank you note on those tarot cards. So people bought tarot cards, they got that same thank you so much for supporting my small business little note. I think people really just enjoy things like that, and I think it's just a great way to really solidify just that repeat business, and also just let people know that like by coming and buying a deck of tarot cards or doing a reading, you're helping support my small business. You're not just, going to Walmart and supporting a big corporation. And I really want people to know just how much that means to me. Okay, so that's basically everything that I had prepped. Ooh, other thing that I had prepped, literally a whole cooler bag of water, snacks, drinks, energy, anxiety medicine, all the things. And I personally take anxiety medicine. I have one pill I take a couple times throughout the day. So I had to make sure that was packed, because the last thing I want to do is just be feeling really anxious or really out of whack while I'm supposed to be just in like a really sacred time and space and energy doing healing work with people. So that is everything that I packed. And so then morning of, just woke up. I had a outfit planned that was like a long flowy dress with a Hocus Pocus shirt that I just thought was super fun. And I also I didn't end up wearing them, but I'm definitely gonna wear them next fair. I bought on Amazon little little stickers that you could put on your face to kind of like Ba-Ba-Boom the makeup, just for funsies, you know. And I did that and, you know, got ready, took a shower, did all that good stuff, went and picked up a good breakfast. I wanted to make sure that I got some protein in, so when I got a chicken biscuit, that's something that normally holds me over for a long time. I did not have coffee because sometimes it makes me jittery and anxious, and I did not want to take that risk. I made sure that before the fair started, all of my things were charged. I tested my payment device. So I try to leave myself an extra like 45 minutes to an hour. So like from the time I think I'm gonna be done setting up, there's an extra time in case something goes wrong, something takes too long, I have a problem with maybe connecting my, you know, payment meter, whatever. So this time what happened and what kind of went sideways is I had ordered a Square card chip reader, so people when they pay card, they could just tap it. And I could not get this chip reader to work. I have the Square app on my iPad. I was trying to connect the Square app on my iPad to the reader. It just wouldn't work. I couldn't figure out why. Last ditch effort, I was like, let me try the Square app on my phone and see if I can connect it that way. Turns out once you have the Square app on your phone, you don't even need a reader. People can literally take their card, tap your phone, and pay you that way, which is so cool. So I'm spending my extra time like downloading the Square app on my phone, figuring out this, like, okay, let me practice with my own card, charge myself $1, make sure that it actually works. When people come, I know that I'm ready. Like, there's just always something that pops up. So that's what I was doing is like, I ended up having, after I got all that figured out, I still had like 15 minutes before the fair opened. So I just like went to the bathroom and then I just walked around and talked to people, other vendors, because at the end of the day, you're gonna spend all day working next to these other vendors that are set up near you. So I went and chit-chatted and made friends with the girl that was doing oracle readings next to me. I chit-chatted with the couple that was selling crystals across from me. And that way, honestly, I just felt so like in the zone throughout the day because I felt like, oh, I have my little booth and then I'm working with my little friends over here and we all have good vibes and the energy is good. So then that gets us up to the point where the actual fair starts. So when the fair starts, I have a table set up. I have 2 chairs, one for me, one for the other person. And then I have tarot cards out, my signage up. And then I'm not gonna lie to you guys, you don't have to do a ton of soliciting of people at these fairs. Okay, I could be wrong about that. Let me clarify. What I do is before I go into these fairs, I also set up a little extra time so I can like connect with my angels, my spirit guides, God, and just say, hey, can you guys help me today? And what I'll do is I learned the concept Angel for Hire from Anna Grace, who has a podcast called AG University. And basically she taught this concept of angel for hire. So we have all these angels and all these spirit guides that are helping us at all times and reach out to them for help on really specific things. So whenever I'm going into something like this, what I'll do is I'll say, hey guides, can I please have an angel to give me confidence today? Can I please have an angel to connect me with the right people today? Can I please have an angel to like set up a protection container to make sure that I only get the people coming to me that I can help and that I'm supposed to help? Because just because somebody needs a reading doesn't mean that they need that reading from me. It could very much mean that their energy is better aligned with somebody else, or it could very well mean that, you know, they might be more draining of my energy than giving. So I basically want to set up that protection container that, you know, only bring me the people that I'm supposed to interact with. And you guys want to know what happened? Literally one girl came up to me and she actually came up to me twice. Like she came up to me and there was a woman there who was deaf, who was waiting for an interpreter to come and interpret our readings so we could do it together. And so I was like, would you mind coming back, you know, after we finish up? The interpreter had just got there. And so she does, she comes back after we finish up the reading. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming back. And she's like, yeah, it was crazy. Literally it felt like you were like this lighthouse and I was like being like drawn to you, and like I don't know why, I just like knew like you had to be the person like I got a reading from. I was like, oh, that's so crazy. I literally asked my angels to do that. Like I literally asked my angels before I go to any sort of, you know, environment like this, like, please use me. Like, the intention of me being there is being used as a vessel. Give me messages for, loved ones, use me as a guide for others, like whatever, but only connect me with who I'm supposed to be connected with and who I can help. So we end up having an awesome reading. It's so fun. We connect on like such a high level. And I'm like, wow, that was so like full circle. I literally said angels this morning, like literally just bring people to me that I'm supposed to connect with. I don't know who, I don't know why. I don't care. Just use me and like connect me with the right people. And that's how it, worked out. So throughout the day, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it was the busiest fair I'd ever worked, which was so fun, so exhilarating. I literally called my mom after. I was like, Mom, I just had the funnest work day of my whole life. Like, I can't believe people actually pay me to do this work. Like, but it was so fun. So the fair was 10 to 6. So it was literally like 8 straight hours of doing readings, connecting with people, different types of readings. Like, it was so crazy fun, crazy busy. And I connected with so many just fun people. And there were a couple times that I had to, I could feel my energy just getting really, really depleted. And one time I literally took a pack of crackers to the bathroom because at one point it was so busy. People were kind of like lining up to get readings from different people. And I was like, I really don't feel like I can do a good reading right now. Like, I need 10 minutes to have some water, take an anxiety pill, have a pack of peanut butter crackers, pee, and like realign my energy. And then I can come back, because I don't want to give a reading. I don't want to have somebody pay me for a reading where I know I'm not doing the best reading I can give them. That's just really important to me, as far as just like the quality of readings and insight and things like that I provide people. So I learned a lot about that like I used to be able to, back in the day, I used to work in bars, and I would work like an 8-10 hour bar shift on nothing but like a Red Bull and be perfectly fine. And I very quickly learned 30, almost 2-year-old Madison, she's got to have her time. She's got to at least have a little break, got to recharge, got to just like sit in the bathroom stall and like close her eyes and do nothing. Like, I needed that recharge time. And so I took it a couple times throughout the day. Lessons I learned, that I probably shouldn't end a fair and then drive 6-7 hours home. So this fair, as I mentioned, it was 10 to 6, so it's an 8-hour fair. I had been there since 8:30. By breakdown, I was probably pulling out like 6:30, and then I had what I thought was a 5-hour drive home, but with traffic it ended up being like 6.5. You guys, by the end, I was literally like calling on my angels again. I was like, hi angels, I have 2 hours left. I can't keep my eyes open and I don't know how I'm gonna get home. So like, can you guys just get me home? And then I was like, okay. The next day I felt so just like drained, tired, out of whack, because I didn't go to bed till like 1. That's way different than my normal sleep schedule. So I definitely learned like I need to find a way to incorporate these things in a way where I'm not overworking myself, over traveling myself, driving, having those crazy long days, doing all that energy work, and then ending up, stuck in traffic for all that time. It was a really hard mix. So I learned to take breaks, definitely make friends with the vendors that are near you, and also just commit to like, after it gets done, don't be like rushing to get home or to the next thing. Commit that after it gets done that night, you're just gonna chill, rest, relax, debrief, let all the energy just kind of wash over you. And yeah, just really realign. And there were a couple times during the fair that I had to stop, and I had to, like, in the middle of the reading, be like, hey, spirit guides, can you please come and help me and guide me and like strengthen me in this reading, because I'm feeling a little disoriented and I'm feeling a little like out of balance, and like I want to make sure this person gets like the message that's for their highest timeline. And so it's okay, like, as you're going through, to like acknowledge to your spirit guides, hey, I'm feeling a little drained, I need some help right now. Honestly, it was just such a fun day. So pack snacks, pack drinks, give time for yourself, let yourself debrief after, and honestly, pack your Tupperware totes the night before. I personally love to feel like I wake up in the morning, I just have to slide out the door, slide there, unpack my things, and then work. I don't like feeling like I have to run around and grab things in the morning or whatever that looks like. I worked a fair before where it rained the day before, so I had to put up my entire tent. I had bought a new tent. It was the first time I was putting it up. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Even if you have like a new tent, you like set it up at home and waste like 2 hours of your own time, that's better than getting to a fair as a new vendor, trying to set up your tent and like having to ask somebody for help. which has happened to me before. So I've definitely learned like just the importance of being prepared, being on time, giving yourself that extra buffer time, because something will go wrong. And if it doesn't, then you just get 30 minutes to chill and like walk around, look at other vendors, chat with other vendors, whatever. So that is my breakdown of just what I did to prep, what the fair was like. I connected with so many different people. I did tarot readings, Akashic Records readings, and medium readings. And honestly, there wasn't really one that was more or less popular than another. Like, I feel like I pretty equally gave all 3 types of readings throughout the day, which was really fun. But yeah, it's just all about stepping into what makes you feel comfortable. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're aligned with your higher self, like the people will just like be attracted to that and will just come to you, especially if you ask your angels for help. So if you tuned into this video, I actually asked my angels to help you see this video. I do the same thing around my content. I basically ask, like with all, especially with my modern witch content, that my content goes out for the people who need to hear it, are ready to hear it, and that like it can help them in some way. And so if you heard this video, I definitely set that intention that you would hear and tune into this podcast today, and that it would be fruitful for you in your journey. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Tune in next week for more. And as always, happy healing.